What a gorgeous, gorgeous evening. I don't like to scope too many times on the public scope, but sometimes, unfortunately, life dictates to others that it may be imperative to do so. It is the you may feel that you don't have the right to tell people your problems because they seem so tiny with respect to what other things are going on for other people. You know, I think about, for example, the Dome Father and what he's going through, trying to get well, curing the poison by poison itself when he has a family and things like that to worry about. And at the same time, what are our problems? Do we have the right? It's an interesting question. I don't know about right, but the I guess looking at it through a consequentialist a viewpoint would be to think that, well, if me not talking about my state of depression caused more devastation by getting you one step closer to suicide. I'm not saying me, but I'm just saying one in general as an example, right? Then that would destroy a family, people who care about you. It adds more negativity to humanity in general. So if you look at it from that perspective, then not only do we have the right, we have the obligation to talk about these things that happen. Absolutely, which is what it's consistent with what I'm saying. Consequentialist. In other words, you're talking about, like what I just said, the example. There's a bit of a delay, sorry. So therefore I thought, all right, well, instead of trying to avoid it, I'll jump onto scope. Melitza Sara, hello, pretty lady. So, the problems themselves sometimes are really tiny, or they might appear to be tiny, but the results of those are quite real. So it is important to deal with them, irrespective of how small they might be. So, me going into my school after 20 years, I think triggered something today. So better to talk or wrong to talk? It is always better to talk. Yeah. Does that make it simple? It's always better to talk, and that's why I'm talking to you guys right now, even though I feel guilty at the same time, because absolutely, it happens so often. It happens at least once or twice a day. The desire, the nihilism that comes from feeling that nothing is worth anything, that you're wasting your time, that everything that you've ever done is now in the past. It's all disappeared, just like a wave hitting the beach. It turns back into a new wave. I mean, it all seems pointless. Little things in life all add up, and they add up to a point where you just feel like none of it's worth doing anything. Trying to fight back from nihilism. That's a very good point. That is one of the hardest things to do, I find. It's almost like those who are ideologically driven, in a way, actually have a greater purpose, so they don't have to worry about these things. And that's actually probably what fuels ideological positions in the first place. People who desperately need meaning, trying to stop self-harm. Well, that's true, and I talk about that a lot in the book, where I tried to self-harm an unbelievable amount of times, and then you sort of do your best to move on, and you never want to go back to that place again, and you don't think you can. That's the difference. Once you've been there and you've survived, your self-harm is pleasurable. Well, maybe the physical pain is easier to bear than the emotional pain, which is I'm very sorry to hear that, but that is quite common. Overeating, which provides endorphins, which is short-term pleasure for a long-term problem. I would say the only thing that can help solve it is meaning and purpose. These are really, or is it just the memory? It could be the memory, I'm not sure, but the depression is definitely real. Like I'm talking to you now, but subconsciously there is not even subconsciously, consciously there is a desire, from a younger person within me to throw oneself off a cliff, right? You have that it's not a temptation that you would actualize. You don't actually want to do it, because you've already been there. You know, I've been off a cliff, I've been all that stuff. So there's no interest or desire in going there again. But there is a pain that needs to be ended. And so coming onto Periscope and talking about it in the hopes of helping other people is definitely one method via which I'm attempting to reduce that pain. Because that is meaning. Finding meaning to suffering is important. But it's a combination of little things. Like, for example, they asked me to work. I'm working tonight until 2 in the morning, and it's now 10 p.m. So I'm working for the next 4 hours. Then I've got to go to sleep for 5 hours, get up again, go back to work, which means that I won't be able to exercise, sleep well, and I'm going to be around students, which is going to bring back memories. And especially as the autist, being around Australia, my friend, as the autist, where am I? Being around people is magnifiably worse. Let's just say student memories. Yeah, absolutely. If you go to Gab Smacked on YouTube and go to Second Live Autism Speech, you will see some parts of the book that I wrote where it talks about some of the things that happened at school, etc. So I won't bore everyone else here with that now, but you can go there and see it and catch up. And working tomorrow, not only being around students, but at the same time, it means not being around your studies. And then you think, well, why do I need to be around my studies? What's so important about it? Well, what's important is that I've been topping the uni, I've been doing amazing things, I can help other people. Okay, well, what's the point in helping other people? So your brain starts dipping in and out of nihilistic tendencies. The brain, you working with students, sort of. I'm a bus driver tomorrow, so I do lots of different things. Oops, gotta get this window fixed, man. Jeez, now it won't close. Unbelievable. Another problem. What's your studies? Quantum mechanics, my friend. Quantum mechanics, and just finished a mathematics major. So now let's head off. And then there's little things that add up, you know, like the dry cleaning at uni. Yes, at university. You've got the dry cleaning. So they're not even big things, but it's not the actual things themselves. It is the body's reaction to them. You always love the beanie. I'm glad. The reaction to these little, you know, almost irrelevant things is what makes you want to just, yeah, exactly, be away with this whole world. And, you know, the ultimate destination is that anyway for everybody. So what can we do while we're here? That's really the question. And so I think, okay, well, I can come onto Scope and share this in the hope that maybe it helps other people somehow. But what else can we ask for in this world, honestly? These are the questions. What can we? Finding meaning is really the only thing that can help compensate, as far as I can see. And then you could also think finding pleasure, finding goals, but short-term pleasure doesn't do anything. Search for meaning and purpose. Exactly, yeah, that's right. But at the same time, you also remember that time is running out, right? So you know, when I see those students, in a way, it's almost like you can envy the fact that they don't have the traumatic memories of the past, like what I have. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Oh, good on you. Have fun. The traumatic memories of the past are ones that help exacerbate the situation. The answer must be ourselves. Out of curiosity, what is your meaning, purpose in life? I don't have one, and that is really the problem. But it seems that there's a lot to offer, and that sort of is a bit of a what do you call it? It's a dichotomy. You do. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, why would someone have been given these savant abilities to do basically every single thing you guys have been able to see that this brain can do, and yet not have a purpose? So the purpose is definitely an obligation to help others, You are bringing awareness. Yes. But you know, sometimes you wonder whether bringing all that awareness is offsetting the amount of pain that is involved in existing. Because every day breathing sometimes is painful. And you know, when breathing becomes too painful over a long period of time, you start to wonder why breathe at all. If that makes any sense. 2200. Begin. Do I want to start the shift? Yes. Breathing exercises. Yeah, I meant metaphorically, in the sense that. No, sorry, I didn't mean that. It's painful as in a physical pain to breathe. Oh, sorry, I understood. Yeah, you mean breathing exercises to help with the stress, but you can't let your thoughts go there. That's right. Any thoughts on sleep apnea? Not really. My grandmother has had it for years, and she uses some sort of machine, but I think it's very psychological, in all fairness. I think it runs on that side, because having a high trait neuroticism seems to be, I think I inherited that from my grandmother. Where from the outside her problems look minuscule, but the stress that she suffers from them and the resentment that builds up in her because of it is looks almost as if it must be unbearable to her. That seems to be the impression. But it's a constant, you know, there's a constant need to have to share these pains, to share what's going on with you guys, to talk about things. And you think to yourself, that's great, but what is the point, right? We are not kind to ourselves. You know, is it possible to actually sit back and say, I'm having a good day. What kind of work do you do? I tutor and I do limo work and drive buses while I'm at uni. Yeah, the sharing now has a point. And you just think to yourself, is that what life is? You know, like, it's motivating you? That's great. I'm glad. Is that the best that, sometimes you wonder, is that the best life has to offer? That you can help other people not have to go through pain that you're going through? I used to think like that. But it doesn't take away the pain itself. And so you just stick with the antidepressants, you stick with listening to YouTube, trying to have your mind go to other places. But I don't know about you guys, but for me, there's an inability to be with my own thoughts and not be productive. So that's why I have so many channels, because I have to be doing something, I have to be achieving something. And just sitting down and enjoying the weather, sometimes there is a desire to do that. I would love to just sit, because it's raining outside, it'd be beautiful to just sit and watch the rain. Just heard the thunder? Yeah. Oh no, that's the kettle boiling. That's even pretty, I love that sound. Yeah, like you do, yeah. Yeah, actually it's more common than I thought. I really have to go now. That's such a shame. This is a good conversation. But I have to get cracking, my friends. But yeah, if you get a chance, direct message me on Facebook if you like, at Gabsmacked. After watching the YouTube video, you can even comment on the YouTube video. You too, Melita Sada. It's always a pleasure sharing this stuff with you guys. Look, it helps. Yeah, if it helps even one person, that's awesome. Thank you very much. All right, bye.